Next up, let's have a closer look at the clamp bases, because I think that's one of the most obvious features that are jumping right at you when you look at the machine and look at the pictures of it, because this is something rather unique that I haven't seen on any other machine before. What you notice immediately, there is this big lever on top of it, which is obviously there to lock it. So a bit different from most of the other bases that are on the market, which have this rotational lever. This one only needs to be pushed down to lock the clamp base. To unlock it, you have three options. One of it is to push the release button. Again, just push on this thingy here. Second option is the so-called gravity release. So basically, when you unlock the clamp from the string, you just let it drop into the clamp base and it releases the lever. A third option, which I think is really nice, you can see underneath the lever there is an edge. So this allows to go in with the finger and just to lift it up. So no need to push anything, just go directly, loosen the lever again. Also doesn't need a lot of force to do it. Build quality, as I said before, the rails are very smooth. Also the lower surface of the base is really smooth, so it can move around very easily. The base part of it is a massive aluminum block, which is then CNC machined to get it into this shape. It's covered with kind of a silk matte powder coating. Also nice touch and feel. The lever is from glass fiber reinforced plastics, so no metal involved here. If you look at the tube holding the clamp, it has a wall thickness of around about 2 millimeters, which is definitely more than I know from the Super String. Overall, for me, this is a very good example of a useful, innovative design for which somebody who is definitely an active stringer has thought about it a lot. Also with a clear goal to optimize the workflow when you're actually doing a string job. So the workflow that gets so natural is like you lock the clamp, you use the same hand to push down on the lever and to lock the clamp again. So that's just one direction. You don't need a second hand to do anything with it. So from my point of view, a clear highlight of the whole machine, the clamp bases. Next up, let's look at the clamps that come with the machine. And currently they're available in two different versions. One of it is this one, it's the 5-tooth version. Normally 5-tooth versions always called universal ones, since they are supposed to match, when it comes to the spacing of the teeth, to match tennis, badminton and squash rackets all in one. I think I'm going to start with that one also to look in more detail. You can see that it has quite a slim profile, which makes it perfectly fine for badminton. The locking mechanism is pretty much the same that is widely known on the gamma clamps. It's kind of a cam roller principle, and as you can see, it really doesn't need a lot of force. It goes easily and smoothly. What makes it stand out a bit and what is a bit innovative about this clamp is the adjustment mechanism here. First of all, it has this scale, which is quite nice to recall different settings that you know with different string gauges. And if you want to move it just by this, you see there is a resistance. You cannot just readjust it that easily. This is due to kind of a ratchet mechanism that is installed there. So you need to apply some force also to push the both halves of it together, so that you can actually readjust the thickness. Now you can see it. There is this click, As you can see now from my attempt here, it takes a bit of time getting used to handling it. The plus of it is clearly when the adjustment is done, it is really less likely to for the clamp to readjust by itself during the job. So once you have the setting, it's really set up and locked with the ratchet mechanism. Pretty nice thing. One thing that stood out to me too, it doesn't come with kind of a diamond dusting on the teeth, but instead both halves are made from a CNC machine part instead of casted parts that you see on many other clamps. So it's the precision, the surface quality is very nice and very smooth. On the inside it has kind of an anodizing surface, and to make a little spoiler, this one is holding also thin strings really well without damaging them. So for me, also another spoiler, for me this one is the better clamp from the two. But speaking of two clamps, this one, we had the 5-teeth version. Let's put that away. There is a second option, which is this one. 4 teeth, which is normally the one designed especially for badminton needs and badminton purposes. To be frank, it does the job very well. There is basically nothing to complain about. It has a surprisingly also good holding power, which we will see later on in the pull test. It misses the scale and this ratchet mechanism on the adjustment, so it's easier to readjust it, but as you can see also it needs a certain force to actually move the adjustment screw. So also this one is less likely to get readjusted during a string job without you want to do it. What I said before, on the 5-teeth version we've seen that the halves were CNC machined. This one, if you just touch the surface, this one to me seems to be a casted part, which normally offers less precision when it comes to surface quality. The other things, the movement, the mechanics is same principle as the cam roller. This one needs a bit more force to close and open it. But again, also this one, a good clamp. Gun to my head, I would go with the 5-teeth version of it, definitely, because the spacing fits on badminton rackets of both clamps equally, so there is not. I couldn't find any real disadvantage of the 5-tooth version. Also, the profile of both is rather slim, so it was also very easy to clamp close to the frame with the 5-teeth version. Okay, that's it basically. Next up, let's see what those clamps can do when you really put them to the test and put them under tension.